In this presentation, we aim to provide an overview of our report. More specifically, we aim to educate elder users about setting strong passwords. Through our literature survey, we pointed out what are the most common bad practices that elderly people do. The main problems that we identified in this area are: elders tend to use passwords based on the easiness to be remembered. Elders tend to use passwords that are related with their personal life, like their names, surnames, date of birth, etc. Elders tend to use the same password on multiple accounts. To overcome these problems, we suggested a password checker for elderly people. Based on our research and our findings, we decided to provide password selection guidelines, explanation about what password meter is, applying different test cases with different passwords, provide password selection strategies, and some hints and tips after setting your password. Some of the identified guidelines that we provide to the elderly people are: the length of the password must be at least 6 characters. Password must have at least one number. Password must have at least one special character. Password must have both uppercase and lowercase letters. The user must not use his personal information like telephone, date of birth, name, etc. The user must not use words contained in the dictionary. The user must not write down his passwords.
Here we can see the password meter user interface. The password meter is displayed both in the login as well as in the sign up page. First, primarily in the sign up page, we have the user password requirements. This is based on the guidelines set up in the report. The password entered by the user is checked against the list of the requirements as in its checklist format, and once all of them are fulfilled, the password is allowed to be used by the user. As well as to help the user choosing the password, a password meter has been employed. The password meter here has multiple levels of checking. One is basically a brute force attack to see how long the password will take to crack, as well as other intelligent algorithms which, based on the passphrase extrapolation, as well as to check against how related the characters are of the password. Based on this, the password meter displays either if the password is weak or average or good, and then the users can choose the password based on that. Also, the whole user interface is laid out to make it ideal for users who are elderly. Here, the whole contrast of the colors reduces eye strain, as well as to have a simple layout which has the password requirements as well as tips for the elders to choose the password clearly.
Now, we are going to discuss about the sample of our test cases. The first test case is about an elder that uses a 6-digit password using random numbers. This example does not satisfy the criteria for having a variety of characters, and the randomness of this password can be easily forgotten by an elder. The password can be compromised from hackers, and thus the specific case can be classified as weak. In the second test case, an elder uses a random 8-digit password mixing upper and lower case characters and also includes numbers. This case satisfies many of the criteria for setting a strong password, but can be easily forgotten by an elder user. Therefore, it is considered as average. In the final test case, an elder user sets a 6-digit password with mixed upper and lower case characters, including numbers and special characters. The password is related to the user and it's actually the user's dog name. This password satisfies all the criteria and it is very unlikely to be compromised. The strength level of this test case is strong. In addition, we are suggesting to the elder users several strategies in order to come up with a strong password by applying the suggested guidelines. For example, use a favorite quote and transform it as shown below. Another strategy can be the use of 2 random words or creating a repeatable pattern using 2 vowels and a consonant. Furthermore, we suggest some good security practices that every user shall follow. For example, for each account the user shall use a different password. Moreover, the password shall be changed on a regular basis, for example, every 3 months. In addition, users can use a password manager software to store their passwords in an encrypted form rather than writing them down on a piece of paper. It is also recommended that elders shall not share their passwords to others and also sign out from their accounts after using a public computer.
To sum up all our findings, we understood that elderly people is a special group of people that must be treated in different ways rather than the ordinary users. Due to their poor knowledge, education and practices for their passwords, security and management, they face more threats in this area. We need to focus on them and suggest the most appropriate guidelines, strategies and tasks that need to be applied by them for their password security, considering all the factors that will affect their state of mind. It's obvious that some strategies that seem secure and extra safe do not apply for their case. For example, despite the fact that a random 8-digit password with mixed uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers and special characters seems strong and secure, due to its complexity, may be forgotten by an elderly user or even try to write it down in order to avoid this situation. That's not our aim. Our aim is to think like them and provide the most practical and logical solutions that are capable of following. We don't want to confuse them and stress them by setting strict guidelines with complex procedures and scenarios. We focus on their capabilities and of how easily they can access some basic structures that will define their actions for setting a password. Finally, our techniques and strategies were identified based on the vulnerabilities of the individual and of how reckless behaves during password selection. Thank you for watching.